record video again. And I'm back, and it's still frozen on my end, but we'll just, we will get on with our lives. So anyway, yes, so that is the fabulous Lost Lager. Absolutely wonderful Pilsner. And I'm sorry if you can hear me gulping, or as I said earlier, if you're really into ASMR videos, then this is the one for you. And finally, I would usually at this point in a beer school talk about my favourite beer, which is 5am Saint. However, Brewdog have decided to stop brewing that for this year, just because we've obviously got to get through all of this backlog that we have for all these guest beers and all of the like mistletoe mafias that we haven't sold because of lockdown. So we decided not to brew 5am Saint, and it makes me cry. But I do have here the wonderful Jet Black Heart. It's not similar to the one we have on tap because it's quite higher ABV. It's actually 6% instead of the 4.7% that we serve on draft. And this one is actually brewed in Ohio, in America. But for now, we're going to close our eyes. We're going to pretend... It didn't explode. We're going to pretend that this is actually the right Jet Black Heart, and we're also going to pretend that I haven't completely mucked up this recording and beer school. Okay, so if we have a little look, we've got quite a thick boy here, and that is because for this beer we use oats in the brewing process, which is my favourite sort of adjunct for a beer. I'll give you a couple of seconds to guess what an adjunct is. Okay, so an adjunct is basically... will we have the new Jet Black Heart on tap? So we might do. Like I said, at the moment we're just sort of working through the backlog. So we still have the rubbish 4.7 Jet Black Heart, but I imagine when things go back to normal, we will be able to get this one on tap because in my opinion, it's so much better and it's a lot richer as well. So fingers crossed. But yes, so an adjunct is anything you sort of add to a beer that's not its main four ingredients. So that could be lactose, that could be oats, that could be anything. Anything except for barley, hops, yeast and water. So again, I've already thrown the Lost Lager away, but you remember how pale that was. So if we look here, Jet Black Heart is incredibly black. And you can... Well, I'm not sure if you can see, but I can. The bubbles here, when you swirl them, are incredibly small compared to if you were swirling that. I don't know if you can see, but there you are. And that is because Jet Black Heart is also pumped with nitro gas, and nitro gas means that the bubbles in this beer are actually 12 times smaller than they are in a normal beer. And that gives you like a really nice slickness in the mouth, and it's got that really cool creaminess with it as well, and it just sort of adds to the overall experience of drinking this wonderful beer. So here we are. Jet Black Heart on the SRM scale obviously sits at a solid 40, 40 plus sort of area, so that tells us that it's going to be like dark roasted coffee beans, burnt toast sort of flavours, like chocolatey as well. As you can see here, yep, black, brown, oats, which is my favourite, and lactose as well. So lactose adds that wonderful slickness and creaminess and sweetness to the beer, and it's even got natural vanilla in there as well, so we can expect this to be a really, really good dessert beer. So cheers. Incredibly delicious, really coffee-like and really rich. And again, as I said, there's absolutely no carbonic bite there. So this beer is a 60-40 ratio of CO2 and nitrogen, which, as I said, creates those really fine bubbles and actually makes the beer have like this really delicious sort of thick head. So when you're pouring this beer, you get an interesting phenomenon happen whereby it looks like to the drinker that the bubbles are flowing down through the glass while the head actually gathers at the top. And what's happening is the bubbles are flowing downwards by the side of the glass, but then they're going up in the middle, which is, cool science. Thanks for laughing. Yeah, so And as I said earlier, for a stout, if you remember, where do we think the best water is for that? I'll give you a couple of seconds to have a little thinksies. See if you can remember. Delicious. So the best water for a stout, as I stated earlier, is actually in Ireland. That's why the Guinness factory is there, etc., etc. Okay, do we have any questions? Because that's sort of taking us to the end. It's a very brief and very quick reminder of the 4 most popular beers I would say that we sell. And if you don't have any questions, I will give this an end, have a look through, and hopefully I haven't messed this up. And it could be questions about anything. It could be questions about any beer in the world. I'm assuming you're okay? My lovely one viewer? Okay, well, this has been my TED Talk on beer today. Thank you for coming, Amy. I really appreciate it. I will put the recording up if it has worked. If it hasn't, I'm going to re-record the whole thing just off stream. But yeah, have a great day, Amy. I will give you a message very shortly and see you soon. Okay? Oh, it's you. Sorry, hello. When we do get it, will the new Jet Black cart take over? I don't think so. So I think they're still going to keep them as 2 separate brews. I think it's good to have the option of a higher ABV one and a lower ABV one. But I can't say because right now all they're doing is they've got these massive stockpiles of 4.7 Jet Black cart in kegs and all these ones brewed from America. So I imagine they're just going to be sold simultaneously, and then maybe they'll decide which one's the highest seller from there. Oh boy. I know. Any other questions? Okay. Like I said, I am going to stop this now just to check the recording. So, Amy, I will see you soon. Thanks for taking part, okay?